Lord, we thank you. We honor you. We give you all the glory and all the honor, Jehovah God. Thank you for the opportunity and this time to gather here today and have this conversation. As we begin, we ask that you lead us and we ask that you guide us. In Jesus' name we pray, believing and trusting. Amen. Amen. Yes. Just feel free to react in so that I know we are together. So just to begin with, I have a bit of a question to ask, and just feel free to chat in. You can write in on the chat box. I have a question for us to just kickstart this conversation. And my question goes like this: what emotions do you get when you hear about love and money? Just when you saw the poster or the topic being discussed or the thoughts that came in your head, I would just love to know what emotions were drawn. What did you feel? Like, just in probably one word, you could chat in. Did you feel, would you say like, what emotion can I say? Does it struck a confusion or something? Just in one word, what emotions does this topic bring in when you think about it? Just feel free to chat in. So what emotions does this topic draw when you think about them, or when you think about it? When you hear about love and money, what is the first thing that strikes your mind, your heart? What do you feel about it? Feel free to chat in. Amazing. Pressure. Thank you, Ebe. Pressure. Anyone else? The pressure is increasing or decreasing? Okay, someone else, just chat in, or if you can be able to unmute and just say, but chatting would even be quicker. What emotion do you feel when you think about this topic? Or rather, from your experience, yes, what is the one word you can use? Okay. Karibuni for those ones who are joining us. We are beginning. You've just found us starting. Yes, and we are asking ourselves a question that what emotions do you get when you think about love and money? And one of us has told us they feel pressure. Ukisikia to love and money, there is pressure everywhere, decreasing and increasing everywhere. So just chatting, we are asking, you can chat in on the chat box so that we know. And statistically speaking of this, there has been a study of what this topic means, or there has been a study, and I would like to read one of it to us, that around 27%, and this is globally, 27% globally of unions, they say financial issues have ended a relationship because of money stress and or money disagreements. And 40 to 45% of couples report that financial issues contribute to their breakups. And the other thing is that nearly 80% of couples say that they discuss financial goals with their partners, showing how important money communications in our relationships are. So as we begin this conversation today, I just hope that we are open to learn. Hope you've grabbed your notebook, you have grabbed your pen, you have, if you have sticky notes to just write things that you will probably look into afterwards. Let's bring them together, bring them closer to you, because I know we are going to have a good time. And to start us with, I would like to invite Eben Consultancy, who is part of the partners who have allowed us to have this session, who has partnered with Touching Lives for us to be able to host this conversation and bring in the guests that we have. And I would like to bring Ebenezer Gift to just have to give us welcoming remarks and speak a bit about what we are about to indulge or dive into. So if you can hear me, Ebenezer, karibu sana. We can applaud him for reactions. Let me have some reactions as we welcome him to just give us the opening remarks and welcome us into this conversation. Karibu sana, Eben. Amazing.
All right. A very good evening to us all. Paris, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you loud and clear.
Hope you'll see me next time. Just saying. So, good evening. Good to be here. Good to have all of you on this conversation. And glad that you spared time. You know, it's on a Sunday, and there are so many preparations people need to make for this grand week. Whether it's just a week for you or a grand week, don't worry. It may make sense now or in future. But really excited to have this conversation. And I think 2 years ago, and I think every year, we've been able to do like conversation around love and money. And every other time, we think it makes a lot of sense, and we can't underestimate or overstate the essence of this conversation. And for this particular one, Royal Gather, Touching Lives, and even Consultancy thought instead of having duplicity, why not have a wholesome conversation? And that's why we are here to be able to talk through love and money. But as Paris already alluded, there is always a feeling around money and all that. All of us have a relationship with money. I don't know how yours is. Probably you can put that on the chat box. What is your relationship with your money? Is it avoidant? Is it chaotic? Is it one-sided? Is it like mnasumbuana kwa hiyo relationship, because it is your relationship with your money, and then it comes to your relationship with your money, and then with your person or the other person. So how is your relationship with money? Is that first with you as a person, and then gets to then put that in the context of love. And this could be a preparatory conversation for some of us. For some of us, it could be an in-thing conversation. There is already pressure around that. Someone says one is already running away, and like a week or so, we have had a uproars around, the CBK declining. Saying that money are they bouquet or whatever's done away with, and we had different conversations. And ladies on the the other side felt, oh, bare minimum men's, they are not bears, but they are bare minimums, who are like celebrating and posting that. The other side feels like, oh, they did not say dollars, they said Kenya shillings. So again, if he wanted, he would. And you could be feeling pressured. Maybe you just a graduate, like now I see my friend Paul just graduated in December, probably still finding your path. But then, the way you are reading the room, it seems like you may sell one of your kidney so that you would take your girl to whatever place that you need to take them. It is important that then we have this conversation anchored, but also anchored in what will Jesus do. And what will Jesus do here means we are talking about we are talking about, in this conversation that we are having, what is the essence of it? What is love? Is love just about me? It's just about what she will do for me or what I will do for them? Is it just about pizzas and flowers and all that? Or your love is such a short thing, just like the flowers you buy, like it dries immediately after 1 week. And there are people that are trying to microwave a relationship, love, so that it just gets to 14. But then getting to First Corinthians and seeing what love is and what that modeled. And I know our speakers will be able to anchor that and help us with that conversation. I'm not the speaker. I'm just one who has come. Not necessarily John the Baptist, but this is Ebenezer Gift. Back to you, Paris.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Ebenezer. That was a kickstart welcome. And I hope we feel comfortable and at home and cozy. And we've been able to grab our notebooks, grab our pens. Yes, as Ebenezer is saying, this conversation is so much needful. And I pray that we'll grasp upon and looking forward to also gaining so much. And I would like to welcome the host of this of why the face behind this idea, the mind behind touching lives. I would like to welcome none other than Lillian Wairimo. Some claps, let me see some reaction to just also welcome us and kickstart this. I see that our speakers are also on board. So karibu sana Lillian. Yes, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Paris. I hope you're able to hear me on your end.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about my voice. I just caught some cold this evening, but I will be fine. I am excited. I am excited about this session. I am excited to see the 40. Should I count myself? The 48 of us in this conversation, and I can't wait to see more. I know there are people who still join us, and I am excited to see my friends here. I am excited to see my cousins. Love everywhere. We'll not talk about money because I'm already feeling loved. But my name is Lillian Wairimu. Sorry, the host of the Touching Lives podcast. I know you're wondering what Touching Lives is, but I am the host of the podcast that runs and that will be running a whole season on money. This is just the first one. So we tell stories that transform in different formats. We have been telling stories in podcast format for this is the third year now. We'll be celebrating the third year anniversary in March. So I know you will all, bear witness of all this that we have done. We are on Spotify and we are also on YouTube. So if you are yet to engage with our content, you can get through to Spotify and to YouTube at Touching Lives Podcast, and you will be able to see what we've been doing. So we also do articles and blogs, so we took a break on life issues and everything in between. So this is just part of it. We just concluded a whole series and season on mental health, which is in YouTube, so you can go check it out. And here we are talking about love and money, and it is at such a time as this. I thought about this in December, and I was like, why don't I just do a live recording on this one? Because many people have always wanted to join in when I am doing a virtual podcast, and it is quite a skeptical feeling when someone requests for that, but I thought this would be a wholesome conversation, and I decided to bring us on board and just talk about love and money. But this is just the first one. I am going to now launch a new season on money this whole year. And I know it is quite a conversation. We've been asked what our relationship is with money. So those ones who are running away, those ones who do not even have a relationship with money, it's your year. I'm on your case. So you are asking yourself how to partner with us and how you can be part of us. You can get our merchandise and be part of our ambassadors. My merchandise really speaks much and a lot about what we do. So you can get my contacts there on the screen, and I am hoping that you're going to love this session. Thank you to my partners, Royal Gather, Eben Consultancy, and Jikubali Africa, and thank you all for joining in. So even as I don't know if Pastor Fred is here, I welcome him to just speak on behalf of Royal Gather. Is he here? I am not able to see whether he's here.
Yes, I am, Lillian.
Yes, you can welcome the team so that they can be able to feel at home. Asante sana.
Thank you for the opportunity, Lillian, to be here. And I know a number of us from Royal Gather are present today, and even many others who are joining from a different platform. So we are glad to be here. We are glad to tuning in to listen to this wonderful conversation. And everyone who is here today, we thank you for coming to witness and learn about this topic that is somewhat controversial. So I love conversation about money, and Eben mentioned a couple of things that I wanted to mention, but I won't repeat them. And spoke about how money personalities, how money personalities affect love, and especially as we are in this month of love, we are going to experience quite high spending across the world. As a matter of fact, I was reading some statistics the other day and found out that the US government expects the expenditure on a gift to be around 29 billion in 2026. Last year it was 25 billion. On jewelry, evening out, flowers, caddies, chocolates, and globally, the UK government expects that there will be a spend on 1.9 euros alone So yes, so money and love is a topic that we should all discuss and talk about, because we will find ourselves in that space at some point in life, or we are in that space even now. Yeah, I've seen schools now have started to come up with curriculum that help people to learn about money. Not many have done about relationship, but at least even our Kenyan curriculum, the CBC system, I saw something relating to financial literacy, which is good because we go through the whole education system, learn nothing about money. Then we come to life to juggle things to do with money and relationship, which now makes things difficult and hard. And Paris mentioned some statistics about how couples that discuss money and don't discuss money succeed or fail. So yes, so I think Lillian, I believe this is a very timely topic to discuss, and I can't wait to learn from the speakers and hear more on what they have to say on how we should go about money and relationships. So Royal Gather is excited to host this together with you, and we are glad to see the success that we can already witness. So thank you, and we are happy to be here. Thank you, Lillian. Back to you, Paris.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Fred. Okay, thank you. Amazing. Karibuni sana. I see many more of us have joined us as we continue. We have already started. We appreciate you, and we are looking forward to an amazing conversation. And just as they have spoken and said, it's quite the conversation and something that we should talk about. It's mostly or little to none talked much about or paid attention to, but I believe it's a conversation that we should have. And there is a particular analogy or something that you've grown up because of probably the exposure or the environment that you're in that has allowed you to have a particular perspective when it comes to relationships and money and the kind of relationship that you have with your money, and now live alone with your money alone, you as a person, but also with your significant other, if not your significant other, someone that is your loved one. So I know that we're going to have an amazing time. So allow me to take it back to Lillian. I see our time is far much spent. Take it back to Lillian so that she can be able to bring the guest to us in a very short while, and just sit, relax, and I know we are going to learn much. Karibu sana, Lillian.
Asante, I am so emotional right now seeing people stream in here. Kumbe, it is a real issue. We just don't want to talk about it. But I am glad that we will now talk about it. We will talk about it definitely. The guests are here, and I want to. I don't know what format should we use now that it is online. Yeah, we can get our virtual clubs in order so that I can bring on board Lillian and Duncan and Lillian Odera to come and talk to us about this controversial topic that we dodge. But today we are going to dive into the uncharted waters. Karibu sana, Lillian and Duncan.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Yeah, this is Duncan Odera together with Lillian Wamboi. It's a privilege and an honor to just have a conversation concerning money. We are married for the past 3 years now, 1 month, 21 days to be precise. That is 1148 days since we said, yes, I do, with this amazing lady. And the Lord has been gracious to us. We have one beautiful Eliana Hawi Otieno. We are staying in 2 places. One, I'm staying in Kisii Town, where I serve with an organization called I Serve Africa, in charge of the larger Western Kenya. And also, some of you call me pastor. I serve also in Sitam Kisii as a intern pastor for the past 2 years. Allow me welcome Wamboi. most of the times we'll be putting our camera off so that we can concentrate with the topic. The topic is love and money. And we can't wait to hear what the Lord or what we have, what has money got to do with this. So, Omboy.
Thank you so much, and hi everyone. My name is Lillian. Yes, I think my husband has already introduced us. We've been married for 3 years. Now, when he says the days, every day, it actually costs us some money. So I think that's a good example of what money has got to do with it. I am on this side of Kiambu. I work with Cooperative Bank. And we are very excited to also share some of the things we have learned along the way and to also hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we'll be doing a kind of a talk. That's my wife will be coming in. I'll be coming in. And all this is that the Lord will help us to understand love and money. And how can He be glorified in both sides? Both love. I know that we have the people who are dating in this case. We have the people maybe are married, like us with the children. Some of them have many children, as we have one that the Lord has given us graciously. So all these sides that the Lord will help us. Our boy will kick us off to help us understand a few things, especially the statistics. I love what Perez, my friend, started with, telling us the statistics. Lillian will be helping us to understand more of that. Yes.
All right. Yes, as my husband has said, I think somebody mentioned about statistics, and as they say, numbers don't lie. And sometimes it's good to hear about what's happening on globally and even nationally. And one of the things that I learned is that, and I know you have heard this a lot of times, that there are like 4 things that people normally argue about, and one of them is money. And apparently, 40% of couples say that one of the leading cause of stress in their marriage is money. And another 75, on the flip side, on the positive side, 75% of people report that their wealth increased over time. So like when people are single versus when they get married, 77% say that they are now wealthier now that they are married, of course, because of shared expenses. Another statistics is that 87% of people who report that they have a great marriage, they also say that they share long-term financial goals, compared to only 41% who say they have a great marriage, but they don't share financial goals. So you can see the difference there of 40%. And another statistic, but this one was based in the US, would say that in 50 years ago, only 5% of women were breadwinners. But by the time it was year 2022, that number had increased to 16%, which means more women now are taking up the role of breadwinners. Taking the case closer home, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, money is a major major factor in the decision to stay single. And I think you can see it even among your friends who say they want to wait until they have a job to get married. And another study in 2010, people who were interviewed said 45% of them said they got married because of money, material goods. While 78% of Kenyan men have said they found it hard to pay dowry. And I think that's something that many of us can relate, or somebody.
Yeah.
And another 64% of people who were interviewed in Kenya say that the main reason they broke up with their partner was money.
Yeah.
So I guess the statistics already are answering us the question, what has money got to do with it? And it seems it has to do with wealth. It has to do with conflict and breakups.
Thank you so much. And it's good to reflect, especially the statistics don't lie, the numbers don't lie, and we are here to talk about love and numbers. Somebody say, Karen Peterson, that to some people, money means power. To others, money means love. For some, the topic is boring or boorish, in bad taste. For others, it is more private than sex. Add family dynamics to the mixed, and for many, you have the subject from hell. Think what we could do. This is one of the books we read during our premarital counseling classes about two people that we are going to begin with. Think what we could do with that money if we saved it. Let's say you are courting or you are dating, and think what we'll do with that amount we are now saving when we are dating. So before marriage, Rachel and Nell kept their finances separate when they were courting. After marriage, they agreed to combine their money and budget all their expenditures together after they got married. So tracking every penny seems crucial to this penny pinching Rachel, who grew up in a family that reused tea bags. She felt that if Nell really loves her, he will save because that is the way to protect their future together. That's according to this guy called Nell. This lady called Rachel. If Nell really loves her, then the guy should be thinking about the future together. But on the flip side, Nell considered tracking pennies totally ridiculous. A free-willing spender. Nell grew up in a family who ate out almost every meal, and where money seems to grow, it seemed that the money was growing from a tree. So he felt if Rachel really loved him, she would trust him to spend wisely because it will be an investment in their life together. So God's people, who do you most identify with in this case? Is it Rachel or is it Nell? Nell is this somebody who spends a lot. Rachel is this person who says, we have to save, we don't know about tomorrow. Who among the two can you identify with in your relationship, in case you are dating, or in your marriage, in case you are married? We often say that love is not about money. I think that is a common quote that we always have, and we always say that love is not about money. And in one sense, that I was just thinking that it might be true that money can't buy love. Yes, money can't buy love, but it can break trust. Yes, money can't buy love, but it can break trust. But let's be honest tonight, watu wa Mungu. It's also true that the love struggles when money is constantly missing. I cannot take my wife out for a simple dinner because I don't have money. You don't expect that thing to grow the way maybe it could have. Or there will be stress when this unclear part of how you're saving or where is money. So relationship we don't live in theory. God's people, we are living in a real life. There are bills that we have to work with. There are needs that we have to work with. There are plans that exist, and money touches all these things. Even you guys who are running the podcast, I'm sure I've seen Ebenezer touching lives and other guys. I'm sure you can't run this podcast if you don't have money or if you don't have bundles. You have to get out and work hard. That's why money quite shape our relationship. Even when we don't want to admit it, it affects how we feel about one another. When money is unstable, what happens? People don't just get stressed; they get fearful. When there's no money, in short, in a relationship or in marriage, yes, people say no, love will keep us going, but until you reach the 11th hour, we have to understand that people don't just get stressed; they start being fearful. And fear changes how we talk. If you have been in a courtship, you have been dating, and fear will always change a few things. How we talk, how we decide, how we love. And love doesn't need riches, but it needs responsibility. If I love Wamboi, my wife, my dear wife, I don't need to show how much I have. I just need to show that I am there, and I need to get her out. I need to, like this afternoon when we came out from church, I knew that I'm going back to Kisii. The best thing was to take her out and just take her for lunch, have some conversations. That one, I have to use money, God's people. So you notice that when money pressure is high, small issues become big fights. When money pressure is high, small issues becomes big fight. It is rarely about the amount. It's not about the amount. It is about what money represents. So money represents security, respect, responsibility, or even control. And hidden money creates hidden distance, God's people. And we are going to talk about that, that silence kind of, it creates distance. So how can we demystify money in relationship then? At first, many people think money is a private or technical issue, something for accountants or something to budgets or bank. But in reality, money quietly shapes our relationship more than we are often willing to admit. It influences how we trust, what we expect from one another, and how we make decisions together. And money is never neutral, God's people. Jesus makes it clear in Matthew, I think Matthew Gospel chapter 6, verse 21. Where your treasures is, there your heart will also be. Money follows the heart, and the heart follows what we love and trust most. In relationships, this means money becomes a mirror. It reveals values, it reveals fears, it reveals priorities, name them. And one of the first way money affects relationship is trust. Trust is built when there is honesty and where there is consistency. But money often exposes areas where trust is weak, if you don't know. You know, there are some hidden spendings that we have, those secret debts. You jump with those secret debts into relationship and also into marriage, and you expect things to be okay. It can never be okay. A partner may begin to wonder, if I can't trust you with money, then how can I trust you with my heart? If you can't tell me the truth of how you are spending, how can I trust you with my heart? The big things. That's why money issues often feel so emotional. It is emotional. They touch the core of safety and reliability in our relationship. Can I tell us that transparency builds trust faster than income ever will? When we are transparent with one another, it builds trust faster than income ever will. Money also shapes our expectations, many of which are unspoken. People enter into a relationship carrying expectation either from their former boyfriend or girlfriend, or from the family background, or from the culture, or from just personal experiences. One person may expect the man to provide everything in the house. Another person may expect equality in contribution. Some expect generosity towards extended family. How do we support family back at home? Others expect strict boundaries on how we are using finances in the house. When these expectations are not discussed, disappointments and resentments quietly grow in a relationship or in a marriage. So in dating and in courtship, money expectations may include lifestyles, giving habits, future plans. And in marriage, expectation now expand, even goes towards the children. Allow me to give this short story. We have one girl, I think I mentioned that in the beginning. And when God gave us this lady, we started thinking, how can we save for her? My wife is quick in thinking. She thought quick, and now want to open the account, and things were just moving so quick. I never knew that there's something going on. I never knew that there's something that was going on until she came and told me, by the way, we are supposed to be opening an account. Do you know, because of that, we had to stop it first, and we had to visit a trusted friend, a trusted couple in Kisii Town, to get the idea. What do they think about that? The conflict came because my expectation was not what she had a good idea on how to handle the issue, but the expectation was not the way she wanted it to. So there was conflict. Not because one person, not because that I'm wrong or she was wrong, but because expectations were never clarified. You have to clarify the expectation, God's people. The third thing, money influences decision making. Decision about where to live, how to spend, whether to save or where to how to give. If one partner values comfort, like Duncan Odera values comfort, Lillian Wamboi might feel somehow, oh, no. If one values security and the other values risk, disagreements will follow. These are not just financial differences, actually. They are worldview differences. So I was just thinking about what are the gospel then have in this first point, demystifying money in a relationship. How is the gospel? I think we have to remind ourselves this evening that money is a servant, money is a tool, it's not a savior. It can never save your relationship. Scripture tells us that our ultimate security comes from God, God's people, even as we meet tonight. Not from wealth. David says that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, in Psalms 23. When God is trusted as our provider, money loses its power to control emotions and decisions in relationship or in marriage. So demystifying money also means recognize that money problems are often heart issues. Fear of lack, desire to control. You want to dominate as a man. I'm the final say. Oh, God, we are not the final say in a relationship or in a marriage. Pride in us as men. I don't need to tell my wife what I'm going to do with money. I need just to surprise her. There are things you don't need to surprise your wife. If you are buying ploti mahali, you don't need to surprise your wife with a plot mahali, my brother, my sister. When you turn, I think what I was thinking about, that the gospel addresses this heart issue by calling us to a repentance and humility and turning us, that helping us turn our eyes on Jesus, turn your eyes upon Jesus. Those who are dating and courting, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of this earth, including money, will grow strangely dim in the light of the gospel. When you turn your eyes upon him in healthy relationship and conversation, money becomes a shared responsibility, not a weapon or a secret to fight your partner. Trust grows when decisions are made together, God's people. When you decide together, that is when trust grows. Expectations are spoken clearly, and Christ is honored as Lord over our finances. Demystifying money does not mean eliminating disagreements, no. It means understanding money for what it is truly is, a tool God has given us and entrusted us for a stewardship, not a measure for love or for wealth. Allow me welcome Wamboi.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you have looked at before, and I think those are some of the principles of understanding money in a relationship. But now comes in the question of how do we talk about this and how do we go about conversations about money? And one of the greatest dangers in relationship is silence, and especially when it comes to money. Many people will avoid money conversations because you are afraid of conflict, judgment, and vulnerability. And sometimes it's because of what you have seen in the past. Maybe you come from a culture where, maybe like I can say as a woman, or maybe you come from a culture where women were just to be seen and not to be heard. So whenever they questioned, there was war. So you may be afraid of conflict. But truly, healthy relationships are built on communication. And this includes financial communication. Proverbs 24:3 will tell us,
By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. So, understanding cannot happen when we don't have conversations. And I would say this starts even not really in marriage, but even when you are prospecting and you're starting to date and you're in courtship, we must remember that understanding cannot happen without conversation. And healthy money conversation always begin with honesty, and honesty begins with telling the truth about income, about debt, about spending habits and financial fears. And I think for us that now we have gone through the stages, we are still in the initial stages of marriage, but we went through the stages of courting, dating, courting, and now being married. I can really see that that's a very important point of beginning with honesty. And I think when I'm reflecting back to the days we were dating, we actually both started on a note where we knew where each other was. For myself, I think we actually did an audit with my husband, my then now fiancé. We did an audit of my income and my savings, and I was actually surprised. To this day, I'm still surprised at how much I was earning and how little I was saving. And in the end of the month, I used to be struggling. And actually, using that, my husband was able to help me actually get out of debt, because I was going into these two mobile loans each end of month. And I was actually reflecting the other day, because I was looking at my CRB report, and I would suggest to do the same too. And I was surprised that there were years I used to really borrow from these two mobile loans, and yet I was earning a good income. But because of that, starting a relationship from a place of just talking about where our income is and where our debt is, that helped us be able to know where we are starting from. My husband also told me where he has saved, and so we started our marriage knowing where each of us is. So Ephesians 4:15 would encourage us to speak the truth in love. And someone did say that truth without love is harsh, but love without truth becomes dishonest. And I think even reflecting on the story I've just told you, that the fact that my husband he loved me, but he was truthful enough to tell me, I really have to check on my spending. And I think there's some good habits that came from that. Now, let me talk about just one more thing. Healthy money conversations will prepare the ground for trust, because that's where it all starts, when you're having conversation. And we said that one of the key ways money influences relationships is in trust. In marriage, they sustain unity. In both cases, the goal is not agreement on everything, but alignment on purpose and direction. And I think we're going to see that later, even as we look at how our personalities are different when it comes to money, and how we have been able to align. And I think my husband has also talked about the gospel. Let me iterate that the gospel frees us from the fear of this conversation. So you have said that we have to tell the truth in love. And so even if this conversation, they seem that they will make us afraid, the gospel frees us, because our identity is secure in Christ. We don't need to defend ourselves or prove our worth through money. We can speak honestly to one another and listen humbly and grow together. And I think that's why we are here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's why we have to do these conversations on money and love, because on one hand we want to help one another to get out, especially from debt or from not speaking the truth, and that's where now we bring in the gospel. The gospel really help us in that. And now, how do we approach money with the emotional intelligence? Because this is emotional topic. when you mention money, it's emotional thing. It's a tool, yes. How do we now approach it with wisdom, with purpose, with intelligence? Because we have to start from understanding both feelings and facts. Many financial decisions are driven by emotions. If you are dating, I'm sure it is your emotion that drives you towards making certain decisions, especially that has the ripples effect on your money or the partner's money. So those decisions that we are making, they are driven by emotions. It's either fear or pride in me or anxiety. How will tomorrow look like? Even when I'm spending today, if I take my wife for a coffee or for dinner or for whatever. I remember when we were dating, I decided that every 2 weeks I'll travel to Naivasha. I was staying in Kisii, but I'll travel to Naivasha with the intention that in the weekend I will take her out for either coffee or just to go and do stories. And I have to spend few coins on that. So everything is being driven by emotions. And emotional intelligence recognize that these emotions and response wisely, they respond wisely instead of reacting towards it, or instead of reacting to whatever we have decided. Know what Proverbs says in chapter 4, verse 23, above all these, above all else, the writer say, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So when emotions are unchecked, when our emotions, as we're dealing with money decisions become unhealthy. When emotions are unchecked, money conversation decisions become unhealthy. And emotional intelligence allows us, individuals or couples, just to pause, or the people who are dating, to pause and to reflect and to choose wisely. So wisdom with money also involves purpose. Money is a gift, God's people, from God, meant for stewardship. I think I said that earlier on. It supports our needs. In fact, in the Bible, money has been mentioned many, many times. It supports our needs. It enables our generosity in the church or wherever. It helps in the advancement of God's kingdom. So when the purpose is clear, money decisions will always become very easier. Where the purpose of what we are doing as a couple or as people are dating, when we have a clear goals, a clear purpose, then the decision concerning money will become much easier. And for young people, those people who are still in the process of trusting God, money is not the source of our identity. And for couples, it means aligning our financial decisions with the shared values. For families, it means we have to model faithfulness and contentment. God's people, as you say yes to that man, my brother, as that lady says yes to you, remember there are many sweethearts that you could have said yes to. It was not money that maybe brought her. That all that caused her to say yes. Paul says in Philippians chapter 4 that whatever he has learned the secret of contentment. Content in every situation. And contentment will free us from comparison and pressure. You know, the pressure, when you are Jama Mepeleka, the mwake in that good restaurant, but mimi niko hapa, you have to be okay with where we are, because there's a way God formed us in our areas. So contentment free us from comparison and from the pressure of this world. It helps us to live within our means and give joyfully to our girlfriend or our boyfriend or our wives. So when money is handled with emotional intelligence and wisdom, what it does is that it strengthens our relationships. There will be less conflict. I think when we got married, my wife will give the stories. We used to struggle a lot on our finances. So what do we do? What do we buy? Because I'm this guy who I did big things. You know, I believe that people should live in a big way. If it is TV, ikuwe big. Kama ni gari, ikuwe big. Kila kitu kwa nyumba, ikuwe big. That is my philosophy. But my wife, on the other hand, is opposite of everything. No wonder God put us together anyway. So when we learn the purpose that everything we do, money management also help us to honor God. Whatever you do, God's people, Do it for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. Whatever you do, Paul says, do it. This includes how we earn, how we spend, how we save, how we give. Whatever you do, when money is handled with emotional intelligence and wisdom, it strengthens our relationships. It reduces conflict. What it does, it builds the trust. And that is what it has caused in my family. Because we do it with a lot of intelligence, then it has helped us to really build trust. There is no conflict. The story I gave about even saving for a child, we solved it clearly because we had to sit down and the expectation were clearly clarified. It will create peace. Oh, God's people, there's a joy when you are dating that young man and you guys have wonderful times. Sometimes we don't need to fight every now and then so that people can see that you are doing well in your relationship. Sometimes we just have to rejoice in the Lord and the gift that God has given us. I want to welcome Amboy to help us learn from our stories and as couple, how things has been so far.
Yeah, I love that he has already mentioned some of the things. One of the things he said is that while we were dating, he was in Kisii and I was in Naivasha. We were both working, and I love the topic, how it says, what does love got to do with it when it comes to money. So when we started dating, you see, I'm working and he's working and we are far away from each other. And there are some questions there we would ask, like who is supposed to pay for the fare when we are moving around. But one of the ways, and you see even how you are raised and the things you think about will influence such things. So imagine we set a budget to make sure that you are able to move. So you would come every 2 weeks, but I would also come to him where he was. And that cost money, by the way. It cost a lot of money. And now that I was coming from a life where I was making decisions on my own finances, so this was a big change. But it was very interesting, and I love the foundation that we set at that time, that we are both responsible for our relationship, so that it didn't feel heavy on him, because I would, when I'm earning, I would pay for my own fare and come to him, and when he comes, he would pay for his own fare and also come and take me out. And it costs us quite some money, by the way, to be moving around. It's not very cheap to move from Naivasha to Kisii. And you are going to spend in other people's houses, so sometimes you're carrying some cash shopping. It wasn't cheap, but we were very intentional in making this work. And I think that's one of the ways that shows that money really influences our relationship. Because I could also have said, I'm the lady, I'm a baby girl, he should pay for the fare, he should pay for everything, and maybe that would have caused us not to meet as often as we could have been. And again, as I'm saying about that, one of the things we were very intentional about when we were starting to date is to hear from stories from other couples. And we were very intentional in asking about money and hearing about how people have sorted their issues when it comes to finances. Allow me to share 2 stories that we picked from the couples we visited, and also to recommend this as a practice for those who are starting to date. There is this couple, I'll just call them couple A, because I've not asked for their name. They really taught us the power of investing in one another. The man was working in a university. He was already a degree holder, and his wife had just completed high school. She didn't have any other certificate, but the husband invested in this wife. The money he was getting, he was taking the wife to school and taking the kids to school. And that wife got a first degree. Then the husband took her back to school. She did her master's. He took her back to school again. She did the PhD. Right now, as we talk, they have moved abroad. They live abroad because the wife got a fellowship there. And it's so interesting to see even how money shapes that, because now I am assuming that it's the wife now who is taking care of the bills now that the husband. In fact, he sold everything. He sold the things he could sell, and they moved abroad together. And there was such an inspiration because one of the things they taught us is the power of agreement, and we normally difference that sometimes when you are making big financial decision. In Amos 3:3, let me read Amos 3:3. Okay, Amos 3:3. I normally ask, do two work together unless they have agreed to do so? And I think what we learned from this couple is just the power of unity, the power of just agreeing now that yes, when you are alone, you are doing things this way, but now you are together. Even when you are still dating, there is a certain way where we can have some unity in how we work. Another couple, let me call them the Mambos, they also really taught us the power of investing and also the power of agreement. So you see, I've repeated the same thing, the power of investing in one another. Again, this was a story where a man met a lady, just completed high school, and he actually chose to educate her. And I saw them live, and they were living large. And it was the kind of wealth that is not the kind of wealth you steal money from. It's just build over time by investing in one another. And that can only happen when you agree and you're headed the right direction. So I would also, or rather, both of us would encourage young people, the same way you are here learning about money and relationship, to also look around you and see couples that you admire. Don't shy away from learning from others. Of course, because people are different, you can't pick and copy everything, but God has designed us to learn wisdom from others. And now I would like us to also share, alongside with my husband, some of the things that we have learned together. We have learned in that journey. We have been together now for 4+ years, including the time we dated. And you have picked a few things that we have learned about. And maybe let me give one example. One of the things that shocked me when I met my husband was doing student ministry. I found him already living with some students that he was catering all the bills for, and I was so surprised. But one of the things is how he used to give out money, like you just even somebody just comes to visit him, he just gives them fare. And that was so surprising for me because I came from another world. And I think one of the things I learned from my husband is that attitude of giving. My husband will just give without even knowing where that money will come from. And I think one of the things that we have learned is that, or he has taught me, is that giving will not make you poor. Like giving will not make like your life to become like so miserable. Like that was my fear, because I used to see him, like even when he was having some guests, he want us to, of course, he has said he loves big things, go buy a big fish, buy big cuckoo, like buy big things, don't worry about the money. But anyway, that is one of the lessons maybe I picked from him. I'm sure he has also picked some lessons from me about just other things, but I've picked that from him, that giving is actually part of what God expects. Yeah, and I think he can also talk about something else he has learned.
Yeah, what we have learned is transparency and communication is everything. It's good for other spouse to know where money is and a budget is being done. A budgeting is telling your money where it is going. That is the secret of budgeting. You're just directing your money where it's supposed to be. So one of the things I learned as we get into marriage and now are working together this journey is to make sure that my wife knows everything about my finances. She knows, is it password bank accounts, is it whatever, you can mention them. She's my next of kin in almost all my documents. I'm sure Emma, you are next of kin.
I'm very sure I'm the one who has all my documents as next of kin, including my
You should tell me if
my
I'm
latest
was-
bank account.
Oh, thank you. So we just ensure that we trust. Trust is being built as time goes by, and we thank God for that. Another thing, can you say this?
Yes. Let me talk about that thing about passwords. When we first met, and my husband was like, we share passwords, and I thought that was such an invasion of privacy. But anyways, there's a CU cheerleader, former CU cheerleader. I saw a post that you're so comfortable, like maybe for married couples, to share a bed with somebody, but you don't want to share passwords. And I thought, by the way, that makes sense. Like, how can you be so comfortable sleeping next to somebody who could even take your life, and you're not comfortable with them knowing like your password? And I think maybe that's one of the things about transparency. The other thing is about financial unity. It's no longer an option. It's the only way. Like, we can't have individual financial goals anymore. It's a hard thing, by the way. I'm still also adjusting. One of my biggest financial goals when I met my husband before that was to travel the world. I really wanted to travel the world, and I kept wondering if I get married, if that dream will happen. But I think one of the things I've come to appreciate is now we have to have shared financial goals. Is it that we want to leave some generational wealth for our child? Is it that we want to build? We have to agree. So that's why we were saying about those two: secret debt, secret savings. Now it's good it's good for each other, each of us, to know where the money is. Yes. I would also say another thing we have learned and we'd encourage is recognizing different money personalities. Of course, I am assuming the people who are here are people who are planning to date or you are dating. And also, I know there are some married people. But at that stage of dating, I think it's very important to recognize different money personalities. As my husband has said, he's a big spender. He saves big. Like, my husband doesn't believe in saving like 100. He'd like to save like 10,000 mara moja. You'd want to save big, but also he would want to spend big. Like, you just say, like, I want to buy that, like, that big TV you see in supermarkets, and I would just feel like that's such a waste of money. You'd want to, if it shoes, like, just buy a shoe like 5,000, and you're like, those are 5 shoes already, bro. Like, but and for me, I think it's also the influence of family. Like, where I come from, my dad is very frugal. There is a term called frugal. Let me explain for you what frugal means. Frugal means being economical and careful with money to avoid overspending, and I think that defines me. I don't like anything that looks like wastage. Like, now he is mentioning about the cadet he took us. Sometimes I am, of course, I'm learning, but sometimes I will start doing my calculations in my mind and think, if I bought those things secure roll and cooked them, how much you would have saved. And I think now, like, learning each other's personalities will help you. We started with the story about penny pinching Rachel and the spender Neil, and I think you can change our personalities, but we can align our goals. So instead of letting our personalities become a hindrance, we have allowed it to complement one another. So my husband, normally, I like when my husband bails me out of a problem. Like, say, like, the sink imeharibika, but I'm thinking about the cost, and you just come and fix it. And so we get out of that problem without abandoning me. But I'm sure I also compliment him when I think about the financial costs. There is a popular financial guru called Dave Ramsey who said, if you're married, my money and your money does not exist. It's our money, and that's the only way to win. Let me repeat that quote by Dave Ramsey. If you're married, my money and your money does not exist. It's our money, and that's the only way to win. And I think that reflects a very big principle we are trying to keep on repeating about financial unity. So no longer having his or hers money is ours. Of course, we are still individuals. We still have preferences. I'm very sure I will never go to a supermarket and pick a shoe at 5,000. I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon. But there is a way we can align to one another so that my husband also doesn't feel like he's always living on a teeny budget, and I also don't feel like we are wasting money. Even in dating, I think this will look like being on the same page on financial goals, especially like when we are talking like about wedding, like just being on the same page. So those are some of the lessons we have learned.
Yeah. So what as we conclude, our time is much spent. Next steps. So we have to talk about every aspect of money that comes to mind. But this topic seems to cause issues, especially in marriage. So to get on the same page before settling together, please, the guys who are dating and trusting God for, I know there are many weddings this year. The guys who are doing wedding, please ensure that you guys are together in mind, in soul, in everything, as far as the finances is concerned. Because if you fail to talk about it now, then it's going to be a crisis in your marriage. So you have to talk about it now. If there are things you want to buy as a man, this is the moment. This is the time to talk about it. Be clear. And then also, sometimes our financial upbringing, how did this influence you? Sometimes, how like one boy, this guy, sometimes I give her money. I expect her to buy something quality, but I end up being disappointed because she want to, anataka kununua vitu mingi na pesa kidogo, inakuwa ngori sana. So you have to be very clear how does this influence you as a people who are dating or courting, or even in the marriage. You have to be very clear. Please, another thing is the financial obligations. Are there debts you have? Loan, is it loan, help loan? I know most of us, we have help loan. Unaingianga nayo kwa marriage. Sometimes it become a thorn in the flesh. Please set it clear. Tell your partner that maybe in the day niko nayo, now there is a plan on how to set it, to settle it. Please, about the siblings you are taking care of, the school fee you are paying, the parents you are taking care of. Don't assume that your partner should know it like in the osmosis. No, it doesn't work that way. Your partner is not the Holy Spirit. Please be very clear on that. The people you are supporting, are you supporting a ministry worker somewhere, like in South Africa Apprentice? Are you supporting with how much? When I met one boy, she was supporting some guys in the ministry. She had to tell me so that I can know, so that by the time we are getting married, we can know how to go about that. We continue with the same honor. Please, finish your debt mapema before you get marriage. Na kama utamaliza, please put a clear way on how you are going to deal with it. Set clear financial goals. Do you want to own a home? Do you want to have a car? Do you want to go back to school for your masters? When we are dating, we agreed on who is to go back to school first. We agreed that I'm the one to go back to school first, then one boy will come later. If you want to own a home, when, how? If you want to buy a car, if you want to save for the kids, the story I gave, realize that it brought a conflict because the expectation was not clarified. It brought a conflict. It's something we can work on, and God can continue helping us. Because different people have different priorities. I think I have to put that different families have different priorities. So work with the one that works for you. You don't have to copy us or copy somebody else. You have to come together and agree. For instance, when we are planning for our wedding, I sat down, I came up with a template on everything, amount we are going to spend when I'm going to visit Wakina Wamboi, Uko Shamata, amount we are going to spend when she's coming to Oma Bay, amount we are going to spend during our Aurora show. I included everything, and for sure we ensure that we used the amount that we had put in that template is what we used. If you are planning for your wedding, what type of wedding are you do you want? Ladies, I know this now. Unasemanga nimekushika moyo, lakini which type of wedding are you? Because it's going to also to influence your finances, and how is going to finance that wedding. I always encourage guys, as long as you can have a certificate and have a good gown for your bride and a good suit for the man of God, and for a good and having a good ring, the rest are not a must in wedding. So as you are planning for, some of us are now, we are planning for a wedding. What kind of wedding are you looking for? Because this also influences our finances and it can bring a lot of issues. Can you finish this part?
Yeah. Another thing, we are giving you suggestion on topics to talk about when you meet to talk about money. And another topic is career choices. Because they inform how much disposable income you may have as a family, but that can also come with a huge cost. Whether you're going to go in business, will that take your time? I know that's a good thing to actually agree on early on in the marriage. Another thing you talk about is gender roles and money. I think I mentioned a statistic where years ago most women were not breadwinners, but that has increasingly changed. Nowadays people are earning almost the same. Like, how does that influence your relationship? Do you mind, maybe if you're a guy, do you mind if your wife earns more money than you, and how can you sort that out so that it doesn't become a thorn in the flesh? So, or even like we would assume like most men are okay with being providers, but are you personally okay with that? Do you mind, like, if the situation became that you're the only one paying for rent and maybe your wife is taking care of the family? Those are some of the subjects to talk about. Or sometimes even the guys, they lose their job. Will you be okay with paying rent? Will you feel resentful, or are you okay with that? So I know there's so much we can talk about this topic, and this was just like a tester so that you can have an appetite. And we'd recommend these two books that helped us when you are dating and you still use them. We will share the books. One of them is called 10 Great Dates Before You Say I Do by David and Claudia App. We're going to share. And the other one is called Preparing for Marriage by John Piper. They helped us even talk about money personalities and all that, because those are helpful things to think about. Yes.
Thank you so much. I think I need to finish because the time I was given is off. But allow me to read this portion of the scripture, 1 Corinthians, that I said, chapter 10, verse 31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. I pray that God will help you, and especially the married people, that we will honor our wives. To the unmarried people, the people who are trusting God to for the courtship and other stuff, that God will give you the grace. Please peleka msichana out at least once in a while. Usikange tu hata mna meet Gethsemane kama uko Kisii University ama at one point mna meet tu one point. Please peleka mtu wa Mungu out at least ajivinjari, and God will bless us. Thank you so much, Lillian. God bless you. It's a joy and a privilege to have this conversation. Mungu abariki sana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, we can show them love. We can show them appreciation. The comment section has been quite an interesting. This was an interesting conversation. Deep. You could feel the whole silence. You could feel it even in the tone. This is a conversation that we all should have. So I hope you have written down your takeaways. You have written down the things you ought to talk about. I am hoping that we will get questions, unless you guys don't have questions, because this is quite a conversation. Thank you so much, Lillian. Lillian has shared the books that she just mentioned. Yeah. I am waiting to see the questions that you have. My takeaway was on money personalities, which is something we will have a conversation about. I mentioned that we are just starting a series in my podcast on money this year. So this is just the first one. So you might want to click the notification button on the Touching Lives podcast on YouTube and on Spotify so that usipitwe with such conversations around money. Betty says, my question is who should manage money in a relationship and why? So I don't know who will handle that, but Lillian or Duncan, you can handle that one.
Okay, I think that's a very good question and very relevant right now. So the way we normally do it ourselves, we, as we said, we really believe in financial unity. I saw another TikTok video where there was a couple being interviewed, and apparently the wife was earning and bringing all the money to the husband to be able to manage, and there were a lot of comments there. Personally, I think this financial unity does not allow us to have like this one person who is doing everything. So we normally agree. But there are certain aspects where, of course, I still do believe in the biblical principle found in Ephesians of godly submission. I don't think that means that it's the guy who should be determining when we do everything, but I do believe that God has given men that that role to be initiators. That means like even like thinking like when, for example, let me talk about that thing about us going on dates, like my husband not leaving that to me to be thinking when should we go out to a date and how much will I pay? Like he used to think about that before, and that was that made my life much easier. It doesn't mean I wasn't contributing, but it means he was the one in charge. But when it comes to finances, we normally sit down and talk together, and we don't make a decision until we are both on the same page. Yes.
Yeah. So no one is powerful or no one is higher in as far as finances are concerned. Of course, as a man, I have a responsibility to steward my family. But when it comes to money matters, we bring everything on table and we agree what do we do this month and what not, what can be postponed. So we look at the immediate ones and what we can postpone for the future. But who doing that? It is both of us. We are couple. We are one. That is what the Bible says. Thank you. Lillian, back to you.
Thank you. I see 3 questions. I think you can answer these 3 questions, then you can wrap it up. Anthony says, how can I know if she loves me or she loves my money? The asker of the question, though. Jandra asks, do you think there is a threat, whether perceived or real, where a lady earns more than the gentleman? And Ria asks, how soon is too soon to talk about money in a relationship? So I think you can answer that, then we can call this up.
I think my husband is just throwing the question to me. How can I know if she loves me or my money? That was I do think the actions that we take show how much another person means to you. Like say if somebody was ill and you went to check them, or even the kind of conversations you have, do they show genuine concern to one another, even as the Bible recommends us to have genuine love for one another? Can you sense genuineness, like they are genuinely interested in your affairs apart from the money? And I did share an example of how we used to split bills even while they are still dating, and I think that's a good template. That even when sometimes it can be that the man is earning a lot and the lady is just starting in life, like if she makes some effort to also appreciate you, I would see that as a sign of genuineness. But if it becomes that, for example, this thing about fare, that if you don't send fare, then coochie, then I think, bro, you can see the signs. You can see the signs that if you have to remove money from your pocket for things to happen, then maybe there is a problem somewhere.
Yeah, and what was maybe the question I'll also ask, what was the ground when we started dating? Was it fueled by how much I gave, or was it fueled by something else? So I think the ground of how we begin, how we began the journey also matters a lot. So it's not how much I give her that makes her to love me more, but as my wife has said. And then another question was, how do you think there's a threat, whether perceived or real, where a lady hunts more than the gentleman? I will say yes, no. In the marriage today, I always say that the gospel has really free us from so many things. There's nothing like my wife is earning this amount, then I'm earning this amount, so she feels like she's the owner of the house. The reverse can never be the same in terms of what God has put there. The man is the head of the house, whether it's working or not, whether it's earning or not. The man remains to be the man, to be the head of the house. And then the ladies go, there's a role, the gender role that God stipulated clearly for both man and gentleman. So when it comes to the money matters, I don't think if there should be a threat, especially when the gospel has touched the heart of both the couples. Unless you are not sure about your salvation and how the gospel has touched you, then there is a problem. But if the gospel has touched my heart, najuanga pesa ni sabuni ya roho, lakini the gospel changes everything. So Janera, I think unless you're not changed or you are not transformed by the truth of God's word, I've not experienced that. There's a time when boy, especially when I found one boy, she was earning much compared to me, but I never experienced any kind of a threat with her. Then how soon is too soon to talk about money in a relationship? Immediately you start the journey. Immediately. I don't think there's too soon, something soon. Mine will be, actually we started week one. Because our case was different. Week one, we had planned for everything. So money was involved. I don't know, you have dated for 5 or 6 years. Maybe I never dated for 6 of those years. But as we started it week one, mentioning the spending, that's why I came up with a template. And I shared with my fiancée by then, who is now my wife. And we said, this is how we are going to track our expenses. And that really helped us. So immediately you get into, especially in dating, I think that is when you should start speaking about money matters. Thank you. Lillian.
Thank you so much. I think the more I keep saying that is the last question, but I see there are 2 more. I feel that very important. Should financial stability be a factor or the part of the main factors to consider before settling down? And how do you handle neediness in the family? Do you usually help your families out, or I don't know whether you have got that question. And someone asked, should we start saving together during dating?
And pick the one for, should financial stability be a factor or part of the main factors to consider before settling down? I think there are 2 things we started with. My husband said that money influences decision making. But he also did say I also did say some statistics by KNBS that money stability has become a deciding factor, a contributing factor to why people are not settling down. So I think there's what I would say a catch-22 in between. And also reflecting on my own journey, I think when we obsess so much on stability, you may never get married. Because even if you ask me, like right now, if I'm financially stable, I will tell you I'm not there yet. And I can imagine if I waited those 3 years to settle down, I'll still not be stable. So I would say the thing that my husband had shared, that when we put our eyes on Christ, when we put our eyes on God as a provider, that's a major factor. But also, it's good, like now that you're in school, you're gaining skills, and those skills are supposed to translate into an income. I think it would be great if at least one of the partners has an income. But I think that in our current generation, people are really obsessing over the amount of money that is enough to start a family. Even if you start in a small house, I can say where we started our life is not where we are. My husband has done a master's, and and it's not like we had money by there when we started. It's just that God provided in His own way. So I think I would lean more on encouraging more people to get married, even when they're not financially stable as per society, but they do have the skills and the willingness to work, because God will bless the work of your hands. Yes.
Amen. God will do it. How do you handle neediness in the family? Do you usually help your families out? Yeah, allow me to start with the last one, the part B part. We help our families, both sides. Like last year, we were in Shamata visiting the family of Wamboi, spending time with them. It depends with the extent of help, but even the ministry of presence itself is sometimes can be a help. We might not financially help with everything, but we do where we can reach. But before we help, we have to agree. In fact, the rule of the game here is that Wamboi is the one to send my mom amount, or my parents. She's the one to send the money, and mostly I'm the one to send to Wamboi's parent in case there's a need, immediate need that we need to check in. So we do help. But now, when you talk about how do your neediness depend, we cannot do everything. We can only do what God can enable us to do by His power and with the few resources that He has given us. We are also in the process of. We are just 3 years in marriage, not compared to my elder Anthony, who has been there for almost 11, 12 years. We are just 3 years in marriage, and now, God continue helping us. Should we start saving together during dating? Currently, we are working with how many people? 2, 3. The people we are working with, we discuss the issues of visitation and all those things. We tell them start saving early. Start saving together. I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah, we actually did this.
Yeah.
And I think this shows, my husband says that we planned our wedding the first week we started dating. Of course, I know probably a lot of people don't do that, but that's how sure you are. So we actually started saving together. Now that I know a lot about saving options, now like I know we could have put our money in an MMF or something, but we actually started an account. We started saving. So my husband had an M-Pesa account, and what we did actually, he used to have the password, I used to have the SIM card. We both were sending money to that account, and we sent a lot of money there. Actually, we saved a lot of money there. We were not earning much, but we actually saved hundreds of thousands in that account in 1 year. We were very disciplined. In fact, I think we should go back to that. We were very disciplined. We used to say like every month, once salary hits, you send to that account. And of course, that's only because we were very committed to making it work. And I do think you should have a way to make sure that even if things didn't go the way you intended, that you can be able to recover your money. That means I'm just saying that we should be doing this with wisdom, of course. But I do think that's a sign that we are together and we are walking the journey together.
Yeah, so she used to have the SIM card. Maybe you're gonna password. Not that we never trusted one another, we trusted each other, but money matters is another story altogether. So yeah, we save together when we're dating. Thank you so much. I think we have to end this, Lillian. God bless you so much, God's people. And we are so grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really nice. I think my heart is settled now. It is 9:38, and I am excited that we have handled this topic so gracefully. Yeah, the 63 of us that are in this session. It melts my heart that we were able to do this. So thank you, Lillian and Duncan, for showing up. Thank you to all of us for showing up. Let me throw this meeting back to Paris. Asanteni sana. The recording of this will be on YouTube once we have edited it. So you better put your notification buttons on. So Paris, thank you.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Lillian and Duncan. This has been so informative. And personally, my notebook is full, so full. And thank you so much. We appreciate it. It's a concept that I think this one goes for the books for this year. Yeah. So thank you so much to Lillian for giving us this platform to just come and be present as you host this. And as she said, let's put our notification buttons on. Touching Live will be dropping this conversation, and we can review it and pause it now, replay it again. Yes, and so much more that is there, and also looking forward to this series. Look forward to this series, guys, so that we continue to learn more and more. The time we've had, I feel like if we had more, we would have answered more questions, gotten so much more from the couple. Looked like they were very, very prepared, and we appreciate you, Lillian and Duncan, so much. Yes, so at this moment, while we were doing this this live recording, Touching Lives partnered with a few of the people. I want to shout out again. In the house, we have Eben Consultancy. Thank you so much. We can react and clap for them. In the house, we also have Royal Gathras. They were part and parcel of this and planning out this and allowing us to just have this. Thank you so much. And also in the house, we have Jikubali Africa. Shout out to them too for making this happen. And due to that, I would like to invite David Irihose to give us the closing remarks as we wind up, and time is far much gone, to give us the closing remarks and at the same time share a bit, yes, about this topic. David, if you can hear me, karibu sana, you can just unmute and kick off. Yes, karibu sana, David.
Hi everyone.
Hello, hi.
Hey, Paris, guy, ni sawa tu. My name is David. You all say. I I'm really sorry. Like I joined late. I was in church where I am right now. It's really in the morning, and ndo nimetoka church. But I'm really happy to be here. I am a mental health advocate, a youth leader, a community builder. Also the founder and the director of Jikubali Africa, that really focuses on mental health, self-awareness, self-love, and healing from traumas. I also represent an Hashem charity group, a nonprofit that supports young people through empowerment programs and mentorships. I am happy for this day, and man, love, guys. I love love. So I'm happy to have gained 1, 2, 3 things on matters on love. And thank you to Lillian, and thank you to each and every one of us who have joined in. And we hope to get more of such. I can't wait, Lillian. We are waiting for such like this one. So thank you, Paris, for giving me this time too.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, David. Sorry, I feel like I have ambushed you a bit, but thank you so much. That was lovely. Yes, thank you for contributing and supporting this course, and I appreciate everyone that partnered with Touching Lives to make this possible. So as we come to the end of this live recording webinar, I want to take this opportunity to thank you as a person. I will not be able to mention all of us, but all of us, I think 60 something of us who are inside here. I want to say thank you for tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, for taking your busy schedule. I know tomorrow is Monday. We are planning for a new week. Some of us, you have a long week ahead of you, but you took the time to be here. Thank you so much. And I pray that this was impactful to you. And also, if there's something that I have taken home, is that money it's an emotional, it brings about emotions into, and you need to look into it, that we just need to understand that it might shape our relationships, but we decide how it shapes our relationships. Yes, so thank you so much for being part of tonight, and I pray that this conversation will not bring about, it's not for it to bring about an argument, but for it to start a conversation in your relationship. For those ones who are in a relationship, this is a starter for your conversation. Just go and have a conversation about the same. For those ones who are already in marriage, it's for, if you have not started the conversation, begin the conversation. For those ones that are not still in the relationship, this is for you to know that when you begin, this is activation of faith. Yes, that when you begin your relationship, you can have this conversation from the beginning. I love that our speakers say that they kicked it off from the beginning. First date, tunaanza kuongelea these things as soon as possible. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful night. I have been your host, Peris Mwangi, and it's been an honor to be part of this. Thank you so much. I think we end it here. Lillian, you have any closing remarks? Okay. Okay. I don't know if she's on board. Yes, she is. Okay, sawa. Thank you so much. We end it here. You can leave. We can leave at our own pleasure. Karibuni sana to the next one, and stay tuned for more. Amazing. Good night, guys.